welcome y'all back to the Solo Gigging Life. Yep. Oh, well, it's another song down on my list of new songs to do this summer. Um, I I have 10 new songs that I added. Now, I'm not saying you guys go and do that every summer, but when you get on a roll, it's like I learned four Dylan songs, some really cool Dylan songs, and what else? Elton John, I added in there. Neil Young, uh, uh, Heart of Gold. What else did I add? Yeah. Anyway, so I think I got added about 10 songs to my set for the summer. I'm done. I didn't think I was going to add any more, but I heard this. I was farting around on YouTube, and I was going on there and looking, and I seen there's not really too much you can do on acoustic with Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, I do two Pink Floyd songs, now three, but I did Mother. I do Mother, and I do uh, 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 Comfortably Numb. And those were the two I always have had in my set for a few years now. And they always go over good when the timing's right in the club or the house. But I added "Wish You Were Here," and I forgot about that song. I mean, at first I'm going, does that song like break down and go into a real instrumental long thing? I couldn't remember, but it really doesn't. It's not that long of a song. And I watched what's his name do it live. So yeah, I'm going, God, I need to add that song. That's a great song, and it's a song that everybody like. Mother, not everybody probably knows that song. Comfortably Numb is a pretty popular song, but not everybody knows that one either. But Wish You Were Here, I think everybody knows that from the classic rock days from the 70s. Wish You Were Here. So, anyways, I added that to my set. I'm going to do that tonight. I got to work tonight. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about, I'm going to make it, I won't make it too long, and I won't rattle on with a bunch of shit. I got a comment in I think on the last vlog that I did. I saw a comment on there, but he didn't comment on the last vlog. I think it was previous vlogs, but I got a comment on there, and it was an interesting comment. And this guy has the right to express how he feels, and I get that. Um, Although I think he's being a little critical, but uh, you know. But what he said was, I can't remember. It's just not verbatim. It's not word for word. But he basically said that if he comes into a nightclub or a venue and he sees somebody with a music stand, he turns around and walks out. Something of that nature. And I'm thinking, well, gosh, that's a little quick, a little critical, a little quick on the gun there. Um, Yeah, it's a music stand on stage. I have a music stand. I use a music stand on stage. And I even did with the band, even when we opened up for Kid Rock or Uncle Cracker. Uh, I had a music stand on stage. I didn't have it right in front of me because I was the lead singer and the guitar player. I didn't have it in front of me where my monitors were, but I did have it off to the side of the stage, kind of like a side, just off to the side, not that far. You could see it on stage, but it wasn't in front of me. But I even used it in the band days. I mean, back in the days when I was doing honky tonk bars with Jeffrey James and the Wanted Boys and Shootout, um, I always had a music stand on stage. Um, I think probably I got in the habit of doing that. I think because I um, I ended up singing most of the songs. I'm pretty sure. I think in Shootout I sang most of the songs. I didn't sing them all, but I sung probably 90% of them. And then my good friend Kurt, he would relieve me and sing songs. I don't remember if there was anybody else. When I was Jeffrey James and the Wanted Boys, Pierre sung. He relieved me some songs. So I always had a singer in the band that could relieve, because that's a lot of singing when you do a 4 hour gig, 4 hour set, 4 sets. And we usually did 4 sets, 3 to 4 sets with the band. With the solo gigging life, now it's 2 to 3 sets, which I like a little bit better. If you're not playing so much, it doesn't matter. But if you're playing a couple times a month or whatever, who cares if it's a for whoever? It's all about having fun, right? So, anyways, yeah. So he just said he would turn around and walk out if he saw someone at the music stand. But I tried to tell him that I not to be so quick, because you know like I said, I do use a music stand, and I do read the words off my stand. But most of them, I don't read them all. I have so many songs. Sometimes I forget, and I need that first line, or I need the first line of the second chorus, or second verse, or something like that. So and then usually when we start off the song, especially if we haven't done it in a while, and I'm at the song of my book, I definitely need to see the first line or two, and then I got it. Usually I don't have to read the choruses. I got the choruses memorized. I got a lot of stuff memorized. Probably out of, I don't know. I probably have every other song I have memorized, or totally memorized. But there's just a lot of songs I go through my book, and I need that first line. I also need to read off the chart, off my book too. Off each song sheet is I have my markings to my drums, so I have to read it anyway. So to get my what I have for the drums, to set the drums, my beat buddy. So yeah, and I told him, I said, dude, don't cut yourself short, because you could be missing some good talent out there. Don't be afraid to bring a music stand. So there is people like that. I'm not saying this guy is that made the comment, but there's people out there that are like, I remember even back in the day, they're like, why'd you get rid of that? Memorize your songs and get rid of that mic stand. Some people, other artists that are whatever, jealous. I don't know what it is. They didn't play as much as I did in town. So. But everybody's an expert, and everybody wants to put in their 2 cents. Why don't you just get rid of that night? Hell with you. I don't mind it. Hey, listen, if Dwight Yoakam can have a music stand on stage, I can. Or Buck Owen, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people that have music stands on stage. I've seen Dwight with them. He does the same thing. He doesn't have it in front of him, because he's got most of his stuff memorized, and he's only doing well, I guess maybe he does like an hour and a half show, or something like that. But usually, when you have an hour and a half show and you prepare for your tour, you're hammering through those songs because you want those songs so tight. They usually have them memorized. But, so some artists like to flip around and do songs they hadn't done in a while. Some of I'm talking about the big boys. And so, yeah, don't be shy about using a music stand, or what do they call it? The iPads or notepad, electronic notepad. I would use that, but I know there's a lot of convenience to it. You can get along to the songs quicker, but you're sitting here tapping on a screen. I'd rather just turn the page and start playing. But although sometimes I do have to thumb through my book if somebody got a request or whatever, or because I kind of, yeah, it's a weird thing. But don't let anybody discourage you about using a music stand. And you have, just don't, because you have your notes on there. Some guys, I have all the chords memorized. I have the music memorized, all of it. But lyrics, I don't have all memorized, so I need that book. Some guys, it's the other way around. They know the lyrics, they got it memorized, but they're not sure about the chord changes, and they've got chord charts on their music stand. So yeah, don't let anybody bust your freaking nutsack over that shit, man. It's just do what you want to do, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever especially when you're starting off. Even if you've been doing it for decades, I don't care. If you got to music stand. There's just some people out there that I hate to hear people out there like that, but they're a little critical about that. They just don't think you could sing from the heart unless you have it memorized. Nah, I'm not going to agree with that. You know, I always need to sneak a line from my book on almost all my songs, not all, but and doesn't take away the passion I sing with the song because I got the song memorized. Just don't remember all the words. And boy, being on the road, even with the big boys, I've seen them screw up on lyrics, and they wish they had a songbook up there or a music stand. Cause dude, they're like repeating the first verse, and they forget the second verse, and yeah, I've seen the big boys do that. It's funny, no matter how big you are, it doesn't matter. You're human, so that's how it works. Uh, but you see a lot of these people, especially on YouTube or on TV, and when they're doing shows, they rehearse hard for those shows and they memorize those words for the most part, but not everybody. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Don't get discouraged if anybody says, "Well, what do you got a music stand up there for?" or whatever. It's just BS. It's just use it, and use it well. Okay. I do. So it's like I haven't had any problems. Of course, I'm not a big rock star, but um, it doesn't matter who you are. Just use it. Listen, you can't please everybody. There's going to be some freaking critic out there that's going to be going, "Oh, the way you did that song, or this, that, or I like the way, or I didn't like your whatever." It's just I don't really get any negative stuff. Don't get me wrong. I really don't. I don't think I ever. I think the only negative stuff I ever got, like off stage, like people have mentioned, about a music stand. They go, "You got your music stand up there? You're playing in front of 1,000 people." Yeah, I don't care. I'm not staring at the stand. Like I said, you just need it. So I call it a cheat sheet. You just need. Sometimes you need that first line. These big guns or the when guys that are doing original, they're not playing for fucking 3 hour 4 hours. They're not doing it. They're doing their originals. They've got 30 minutes of original. So if you don't have your songs memorized, of course, it's funny because on my originals, I even have to use a cheat sheet on my originals. Believe it or not, I do because I don't do them that often. You kind of forget the song, and then once in a while, people come up and go, "Hey, you got any originals you can do?" Yeah, I can pump it up. Most of my originals I have memorized, but there's some new ones, the recent ones that I wrote. I don't have it memorized because I just don't do it enough. And we're doing top 40 shit. At these honky tonks and restaurants and stuff. We're not doing. It's not an original show. You don't have a contract with Capitol Records, and you're not on tour to do your original stuff. This is we're in a bracket of where we're a luxury for these restaurants and bars, and we want to entertain them, soothe their soul, and bring them smiles. And that's all I got to say about that. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right. So you guys, thanks so much for sticking around and letting me bore you for 15, 20 minutes. You guys all rock. Thank you for all the comments. Try to subscribe if you haven't. Maybe we can get this thing up to 2,000 subscribers on here. That'd be kind of cool. I'm way past due. I've had this channel going for what 7 years, but I haven't been consistent. So that's my fault. That's on me. Anyways, I love you all. You guys keep stay in the woodshed. Keep practicing, um, and keep playing and try to soothe some souls out there if you're thinking about getting out there and playing and or even playing with a band or playing with a friend of yours, a duet, whatever, just do it. Just do it. We need more music. I don't care how good things are or how bad things are. We need music to get us through the bullshit. Just saying. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Talk to you next week.